Hello, this is Belinda Colleen, and I'm excited about the spring. And so I'd like to do a video about spring and season changes and what we can do to get ready and embrace the new season and get a jump on our competition. The first thing I do is think about, okay, what are people going to need this spring? Well, the obvious thing, of course, are certain kinds of clothes, the shift from the winter to the spring. And in Atlanta, especially, I'm in the Atlanta area, it's very important to go ahead and put a ton of stuff in your store. Yesterday it was 72. Of course, tomorrow it might be 30. That's how it is here in the spring. It's very crazy. But we start getting a lot of warm weather. And so I'm looking back, and now that I've been in this over 2 years, I can look back at the information that I have and see what was selling then. That's the first hint, of course, is see what was I selling a lot of. And of course, some of it's common sense, but sometimes you have to remind yourself of these things unless you're intimately involved in them. And what I noticed about last spring, some of it was very obvious. I sold a bunch of baseball and softball gloves. I sold tennis rackets. I sold pickleball paraphernalia and rackets, but I have a hard time finding those, to be honest. Cargo shorts for men. Wow. Now that was something that kind of surprised me. I don't know why. I see people wearing cargo shorts everywhere. But I spent too much money on the last year buying kind of dressier shorts, sort of preppy shorts, because I see men in that a lot too when they go out to get something to eat or, whatever. But for whatever reason, I sold cargo shorts the best. So I'm stocking up on cargo shorts, trying to get them as cheap as I can. Light jackets like this, because when you think about it, now everybody's been cozy all winter and now they're moving outside. And what do they need? They need their clothes. They need their sports gear. They need their cookout gear and all of those things. And of course, the interesting thing about this time of year is online shopping can be good sometimes because people haven't gone into their stores. They've discounted their items for the winter, and many times, especially depending on the part of the country they're in and stuff, people still are in winter mode big time, probably up north and in areas where it's just much colder than Atlanta. But honestly, I think it makes sense to do some online shopping, especially for the things that are expensive, where the shipping doesn't matter that much, where you want to get some great deals on some things that'll be a lot higher a month or two from now. That's one place I'm going to start looking. And of course, a lot of the thrift stores and things are starting to turn over, but they still have a lot of their winter stuff. I'm also going to stock up on the cheapest winter stuff, the things they put on sale that I know I can sell next year, that are evergreen items, things that I don't have to worry about the trendiness aspect. I mean, that is one good thing. I've shifted to 50-50 men's and women's clothes, trying to focus on both, even though there are always more women's clothes out there than there are men's. But the nice thing about men's clothes is they're not as trendy typically. Now, they can be a little bit with the jeans, but guys are always going to wear khakis. Guys are always going to wear polo shirts. They're always going to look for baseball gloves and baseball bats and fishing gear and barbecue stuff. Those are things I can count on. So this time of year, we're kind of transitioning from one season to the next. It's a very busy time if you're doing it right. Because what you want to be doing is stocking up on the discounted winter stuff and also stocking up, while you can, on discounted summer stuff before it catches up with you and everything's gone up. I know I've just started going through my store and marking up prices on the summer stuff. I had marked them down, and now I'm starting marking them up, and I'm starting to mark down my winter stuff, and I'm trying to get that done actually this week, just so I'll be ready for it. But I think it would be smart, and I don't know what part of the country you're in, where you're watching this from. I do think it's different in different areas because I remember when I lived in upstate New York for a while, I thought I was going to freeze to death. I do remember that. I did enjoy it. I had a lot of fun. But the thing I remember was spring didn't really come until May. Not really. It didn't feel like spring to me. But then I was a southerner going up there and I wanted to put on a pair of shorts. And I don't think I put on a pair of shorts until May or June. So it was like chilly for me up there. And I think I wore jackets at night almost the whole year, except for maybe August. But so depending on the part of the country you're in, you may have a little more time to jump on this. And of course, there's always people from other areas buying from you. So I think getting a jump on it is always smart. Because believe it or not, there are a lot of people that do this. And I never realized it because I like to shop. So I shop all the time. Even before I started in this business, I did. But there's a lot of people that go through their inventory, go through their wardrobes, do their spring cleaning, and they say, okay, I need 2 pair of shorts and maybe 3 or 4 tops, or if you're a man, 3 pair of cargo shorts or whatever, maybe a new pair of tennis shoes or and some short sleeve shirts or whatever. They'll go through and kind of assess. And women do that a lot too. And of course, with women, they're going to change their handbags out a lot of times. Although people carry leather bags all the time, that's a nice thing. That's why I love to buy leather handbags, nice leather middle range handbags, where I don't have to go through authentication and all that stuff and worry about whether or not I picked up a phony baloney one by mistake, which could happen to me because I don't know that much about a lot of these handbags. But I just have opted to stay out of that mess with the real luxury high-end stuff. It seems like a lot of trouble when it seems like a high-risk situation to me. Although I know some people do I'm just not comfortable in that market. But anyway, if you will go out with a mission, like maybe each time, and this is what I'm doing, and you can try it on for size. Maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's not. But basically, because I'm still, even though I've been in it a couple years, really I've only been in it super seriously for about a year now, I'm trying to lean into something. Each trip I take, I've got a mission. Like today, I'm going to focus on buying summer handbags for women while they're still marked down. Or today I'm going to focus on sporting goods. I'm going to look for tennis rackets and pickleball rackets and golf clubs. Well, I don't sell golf clubs anymore, but I like to sell golf paraphernalia. Skirts are the skirts, the little skort shirts. They call them skirts, and they're pickleball and tennis players use them. And some women just wear them, when they go grocery shopping and stuff because they're very, very comfortable and kind of cooler sometimes than regular shorts are. But I'll review the brands and specifics and price ranges. It's like I'll bone up like I'm getting ready for a test. And then I'll go out to the stores with that information in mind. I may take a couple of notes. I do have a little note thing that I carry with me sometimes because occasionally I have trouble with my phone reception depending on where I am. So I can't always count on my phone. Most of the time I can, but not always. So anyway, I think that's a great idea. Plus, it's a good way to keep yourself learning all the time. Plus, it'll allow you to see when trends shift sometimes because they do shift. And if you're not a baseball player, but you're buying baseball stuff, you want to know, has something changed in this world? Or I used to play softball when I was a girl, and I even played softball in college. But I don't know now. I don't watch softball games now. I don't really keep up with it anymore. And so I want to see what the trends are. What are they buying? What are they wearing? That type of thing. And that's not always easy to find, but sometimes you can just Google almost anything, to see what's going on. And or just drop by pretty soon, probably in March, the softball teams will start up and the baseball teams, the kids especially, and they'll be out there playing. And of course, the kids aren't always wearing the same things that the adults are wearing, but you can probably get a feel for it. And you can also just look up online and see what they're selling. And the major people that sell these things, Adidas, Nikes, whatever, and see what they're selling and see what kind of styles have shifted. They don't shift a lot, but they do shift some. And you want to make sure you're not buying something that's considered, passe. Nobody's buying it anymore. So I've learned a lot. And the thing that I've learned, I don't sell golf clubs anymore, but I sell baseball bats because they're a little bit shorter and they sell for a lot. So if you're inclined and you don't mind wrestling a little bit with finding the boxes and stuff for baseball bats, they sell really well because they're quite expensive new. And especially with the kids teams and even with some of the adult softball leagues and things, they have batting practice and they buy a big bag and, throw their bats in there. And they want a bunch of different sizes and shapes and weights of bats because everybody's different about the kind of bat they want to use. So that's something else to keep in the back of your mind. And then depending on the area you're in, fishing is huge. Now, I don't know much about fishing. I have been fishing. My dad was a big fisherman, so I have been fishing. But I feel like I would have to really spend a week and really throw myself into it to learn a lot about fishing. Whereas I have a little bit more information about baseball and softball and golf and tennis. I played tennis a long time, for decades, and I still will play, but I don't play in a league anymore. But and pickleball's sort of taken over in this area. So anything pickleball related is great. It's huge. And the nice thing about tennis and pickleball and golf people is they care about how they look. Maybe even more than the baseball people do, or the basketball players. They want to look nice. They want to look sharp. They want to wear the latest and the greatest, and they like the name brand stuff. So if you keep that in mind and you can find that stuff, and that may mean shopping in different areas, certain areas there may be a lot more golfing. It may be near a lot more golf courses. Certain suburbs are more, country club oriented. And you might have better luck there in those areas, in those thrift stores, than you would have in other areas where fishing might be a bigger thing because there's a lake close by. It's funny, a while back I had a lake house. And we bought the house and we wanted to decorate it and get it all, camped up and kitschy. We made it kitschy. We didn't make it elegant. We made it fun. And it wasn't a real expensive home. It was just a fun place, and it was right on the lake. And that was what we were really buying because we had a boat there. Well, the thing that shocked me so much was they would have garage sales up there. And people would be selling all this lake stuff at the garage sales. And we bought all these fun things that that were all fishing related or lake related or nature. I mean, the only thing I think we purchased retail just about was a leather sofa because we couldn't find a nice leather sofa to put in it. I mean, because it was empty when we bought it. Some people buy vacation homes and they're not empty, but this one was. So we had to put everything in it. But I guess what I'm saying is you can find different things in different areas. And sometimes you might need to take a little trip and it'll be fine. Just plan yourself a nice lunch, go up there and buy some stuff in that area because they are going to cater to the lake people up there, or they're going to cater to the golfers. If you're in Augusta, where they have the big, Augusta, tournament, I can't remember what it's called, the Masters, they give them the green jacket if they win and all that stuff. It's a big deal. I mean, I like golf. I play a little bit. I'm horrible at it, but I don't go to those kind of things really because it's not that, well, it's really hard to get tickets to it. But I guess and the Kentucky Derby's coming up too. So you might want to get some cool hats, because it's all about the hats at the Kentucky Derby. I guess the thing to do is think about what's happening in those months that are coming up in the spring. What are they going to be wearing? What events or special events are coming up? And there's a lot in the spring. You've got Easter. we're already too close to Valentine's Day for this to be meaningful, but of course, Valentine's Day is coming up. Weddings, graduations, spring break. So a whole lot of people are getting ready for all of those things. And then all you've got to do is say, what are they going to need? And they're going to be snagging stuff like crazy. Spring break's a big thing. Bathing suits, that means you need to get your bathing suits out, for especially for the young girls and young men. But a lot of times the families go on vacation for spring break. So you need to have it for everyone. Get those bathing suits in your store. I know it seems crazy considering it snowed, 7, 8 days ago. And now I'm talking about bathing suits. But spring break starts in March, and it's like mid-March or sometimes late March, just right around the corner. So if you start shopping now, you'll have a bunch of stuff in your store when they start, they'll start buying for it in a week or two. So it makes sense to do that. And beyond the sports and beyond the vacations, you've got special events coming up. Weddings are huge, spring, summer weddings. Now, everybody has to decide what they want to sell in terms of clothes and that type of thing. And of course, wedding gifts. So buying some new items that are home decor or something that new couples would like. It's got to be new, of course, but I guarantee you, if you put some brand new blenders or the kinds of things that people want when they get married, those will sell for weddings and for gifts. Also, you got a lot of kids graduating and they're going into their first apartment out of school. They're going to need things. Their parents are going to be buying things for them. They're going to be buying things for themselves. So there's a whole lot of, spring is all about new, and it really, really is. And when you think about all the opportunities to sell, all the different things that people need with this season change, you'll get excited about it. I always love the spring. I love the fall. I like every season except I'm not a big fan of summer. It's too hot for me. But it's a great opportunity to sell too. But anyway, don't miss out on all the new things that people are going to be buying, for the spring. And there's a lot of them. That season change comes with, excitement about a new season, getting out of the house, getting outside. And just think about all of the things that go with that. Think about the upcoming weddings, the graduations. And people are going to want some more formal clothes. I personally don't buy wedding dresses. I've known people that do, and they make a fortune. I just think it sounds a little too high maintenance for me, so I'm not going to do wedding dresses. Even though I think they're beautiful and it's kind of a dreamy kind of thing to be involved in, I just think it's so important to brides that I don't think I want to get into that kind of a high maintenance kind of emotional purchase personally. But if you specialize in it and you've got ways to keep them from returning and all that, there's a way to do it, I'm sure, that's very doable. But I am going to specialize on dresses that I can see the guest wearing, where they might buy a little more formal dress to attend the wedding or to attend the graduation or the graduation parties, that type of thing. So I'm going to buy a few more dressy clothes than I usually do. I usually focus on casual because everybody's so casual these days. Sure, a few people wear suits occasionally to work, that type of thing, but there's an awful lot of people that are just dressing a lot more casual than they used to. And I think it's great, but so that means when it's time for them to dress up, they're going to probably need something. If they've lost weight, gained weight, spilled something on their last dress or their last great tie, I want to be the person they come to buy that. So get a piece of that. Get a piece of that pie because it's a big pie for the spring, I think. I guess that's all I've got to say. I would definitely run a sale on my winter items now to try to get rid of them and take that money and just plunk it down into spring stuff, or take advantage of some of the great winter sales that people are having and buy some of those bolos, the really great brands that you usually can't afford. Anyway, It's great talking to you. I hope you're looking forward to spring like I am, and go out there and make some changes and get ready for the rush. Bye-bye.